to work. Work! Don't let our guests think we Mexicans are lazy. Our mistress has arranged it, and I command it. Without me, this house would be a wreck. What will my mistress do without me at her age? The poor woman is old, widowed, and... What?
There's a Spaniard downstairs who just arrived on horseback. He says that he's here to see the captain.
No!
He had a very long journey.
Give him some food and tell him that he will have to wait. The captain is still recovering from his injuries, and Our Lady has requested nobody bother him! You got it?
What do I tell him then?
What? I already told you! If I'd have been here, that idiot would have woken him up by now. But quiet, he comes. Good afternoon, how are we doing, Captain?
Good. I feel stronger and in the mood to take a walk in the countryside.
I'm glad.
I just read in the newspaper that our troops were whooping the Mexicans.
Hush! And this brings you joy?
Well, yes. What do you think? Since I'm a prisoner, I'm no longer a Spaniard.
Well, yes. The mistress has graciously allowed you to queue here, and you want the Spanish to come and spank us?
Don't worry, Pancho. I hope to one day have the opportunity to repay your mistress for her kindness.
And the Spanish spanking? Spaniard! I forgot to tell you that a Spaniard has arrived and wishes to talk to you.
Why didn't you tell me this sooner?
Well, you were resting, and I took it upon myself to tell him to wait.
But Pancho, you don't do anything without changing it for your own self-interest.
Well, I was letting you rest.
When I ask you for fresh water, you go and bring me broth for that everlasting desire.
Yes, sir, because it is healthier.
Please go tell the Spaniard to come in.
Un español que viene a verme aquí, el alma se transporta a mi país. Yo siento aquí un ambiente de inmensa languidez. En este paraíso me falta una mujer, la busco en vano en verdad, no llama voces mi corazón, está sin alma todo este den, la mano de mis sueños non vaga y Dios en él. Ahorras de España venid a dar al alma inquieta la dulce paz, ponerme cerca de esa ilusión que vaga y siempre en derredor. Ahorras de España venid a dar voz de mi amor.
Leon!
Corrado!
How long has it been?
Since last year in Mexico. I lost track of you when the battles began.
Did you forswear beloved Spain, Leon?
No. But I could not find work, so I decided to seek my fortune and adventure in the new world.
Oh, have you had any luck?
Sure. Money is not scarce. Back home, I starved. But here, a foreign painter, I can charge whatever I want.
We owe many a story to your skills with the brush.
Do you remember that portrait of mine that you fell in love with?
What a heavenly human being. More than a mere woman. She had to have been an angel. For that image, I was happy-go-lucky. Now I can only think of her.
And who am I supposed to paint in this Via, Conrado?
Who?
I've been commissioned to paint a portrait.
Here.
Yes, a banker came to my house saying, "Sir, are you Leon Carvajal?" He said, "I am in charge of asking you to paint a portrait of a woman a long way off." I said, "Well, if they pay well, I'll go." Then he said, "Whatever you ask, they will give you." Well, I said, 2,000 pesos. And wouldn't you know, I got paid. So I left, and here I am.
Another act of kindness from my noble caretaker.
Who is she?
A lady who is quite old. One day after dinner, I recommended you, and she gave me this pleasant surprise. She's healed my wounds, strengthened me, and I see now that there's no wish she cannot grant.
I see. Why does she care for you?
I was coming from Texas with my men when we ran into an enemy convoy. We were in a fierce battle when I heard the voice of a poor old woman calling out. It seemed that my mother from heaven was speaking to me. I found the old woman and told her, "Don't be afraid, no one will harm you." By chance, she was heading in our same direction, so I cared for her until we were attacked by 100 undisciplined forces against my small squad. In such a difficult situation, what should we do? My troops wanted to escape. I could not leave that poor old woman. I ordered my boys to go ahead, and I accepted their departure.
My gosh! They just left you there? Spanish soldiers never behave like that.
Oh, no. They were always loyal, so they surrounded that car and fought around it with ferocious force. But the William shot hit me in the shoulder and left me on the ground, senseless and imprisoned. I have no idea what happened after that. When I awoke, I was here in this villa, being tended to by my old companion. She's treated me with exquisite tenderness and has been like a blessed angel watching over by my bedside.
This old woman is the best of Mexico, which isn't saying much.
Yeah, thanks to her kindness, I passed my joyful captivity with her quietly beside me.
Well, about how old is this old woman?
70 years.
Well, I guess she could be older.
Always the same, jumping to conclusions?
Well, you were a passionate young man, and, well she is...
Look, more than once listening drowsily to the vibration of her accent, I've daydreamed about a woman I could adore. But when I open my eyes, I'm reminded that she is old.
Okay. I'll get off your back. I look forward to meeting her.
She comes. You'll see how she captivates.
Noble señora, tengo el honor de presentaros a mi amigo León el pintor. Tengo, señora,
tesoro tiene vuestro alma.
Las gracias con arrugas no tienen gracia.
En toda regla hay excepción.
Y al menos tengo esa opinión. Y al menos tengo esa opinión. Solo se vean las flores lucir, sus colas lucir, sus alas, bañadas de rocío de la mañana, así que el sol, sus frescas los seca, marchitas son. Ay Dios, marchitas son. Ay Dios, marchitas son.
Porque la quieta no conserva el alma, ha de perder el brillo de la mañana, es un dolor, hallar en el ocaso tan bella flor. Ay Dios, ay Dios, ay Dios, tan bella flor. Ay Dios, ay Dios, ay Dios, tan bella flor.
De gracia su tesoro tiene vuestro alma.
Las gracias con arrugas no tienen gracia.
En toda regla hay excepción.
No al menos tengo esa opinión.
En toda regla hay excepción.
Porque la quieta no conserva el alma, ha de perder el brillo de la mañana, es un dolor, hallar en el ocaso tan bella flor. Ay Dios, ay Dios, tan bella flor. Ay Dios, ay Dios, ay Dios, tan bella flor. Es un dolor, ay Dios, tan bella flor. Es un dolor, ay Dios, tan bella flor. Es un dolor, hallar en el ocaso tan bella flor.
What's this?
Stories I have heard about the battlefield, which I have embellished. I beg you not to read them until you have to. Your boredom will make you think they are more interesting than they really are. Let's talk about your friend.
My friend has come off to show his magic brush on your portrait. He paints truthfully.
I'm deeply sorry,
Why?
because as I am imperfect and I know that he paints truthfully, he will remind me of my lost youth. And so in Spain, when they see that painting, they will say, "What a painting!" And then what will you say?
That through those wrinkles, the whole soul can be seen, and that whoever misjudges you is because he does not know you. This painting must accompany my mother's, together her memory in my soul and her portrait on the wall.
I would gladly have my portrait next to your mother's. Even if your girlfriends see it, they will not be jealous.
Girlfriends? Corrado is the strangest fellow. He's only loved once.
Yes?
He fell in love with a portrait, which I copied from another painting. It belonged to a lady married to some wealthy man, I don't know who. Conrado had never seen her, and neither had I. Isn't it absurd to love a canvas that can't respond with so many beautiful girls in the world that have bones and flesh, waist, feet, and hands?
We are, Mr. Artist, completely in agreement. Love even once, and use your youthfulness in that sweet restlessness. This is what I have learned. Use your desire on that flowery path, that the force of life has no better use. Forgotten to love, leaving love behind, neither man nor woman ever find happiness. And even if I appear indiscreet, let me confidently use a resemblance almost worthy of a poet. Love is a flower that even when it lives on earth, only the soul perceives its perfume. The man and the woman are driven by fate. They find it on their way and both want to pick it up. If one of them is not sincere, when they both hold out their arms, the one who takes it first breaks the flower into pieces. But if they are so happy that they feel equal love, then the flower lives because it has two roots. And both in the same way must take care of each other, since the flower dies in one day if a root dies. But if it lives, it is the consolation of every aching soul, because that flower of life has the aroma of heaven, and as the complexion wrinkles when the body collapses, the cold of old age still tempers us with its aroma.
An excellent moral to take with you to the grave.
This woman is a jewel.
But she is an old jewel.
Love has never been painted with a more delicate brush.
When you have loved, you will know how to paint it better.
And with that, Leon, you should begin to paint.
Don't be in a hurry. Another minute.
Well, I'm ready.
There will be time. Don't you know that at my age, people hate portraits and mirrors because they tell the truth? Our artist is exhausted from his trip, and it would be better for you, even for a while, to hear some music. Just imagine that the lady in the portrait is listening to you. I used to sing as a hobby in my time, and I thought that singing showed one's heart.
But
Come on, sing for the old maid.
no way, not that.
Let's see how you do singing a song I wrote a while ago. I won't tell you how long ago.
Che noche aquella
celestial.
Nos burles, señores, de la ancianidad. Madre mucho por compasión. Estoy ahí, yo tengo amor. Dios mío, mandar por él, que si no
Oh, lady of my soul, I am so sorry to interrupt.
What happened?
It is very serious, and I don't know how it will end.
Will you just say it?
Well, yes, but first I must start it.
Out with it!
The governor, who is a donkey's excuse me, madam, has received an order to lock up all the prisoners who are not Mexican.
My goodness!
When?
Tonight. Then, they're to be transported to the province of Texas.
Texas?
Impossible! Poor Corrado still has open wounds. The travel will kill him. I am against it.
And I opposed it. But it may be that the governor, who is very firm and very, just wants to make the mistress of me look foolish.
Traitor.
How awful.
Good heavens. Corrado, you don't have to worry about that. I'm going with you. What the heck? In the province of Texas, we'll find shelter.
No, sir, I don't want it. This cannot happen.
That's what I say.
Come to my room and see if we can find a way out of this.
That's what I say.
But what do you say?
Oh, well, now nothing, because the governor said he'll shoot us. But in time you will see, because I'm a real man. Got it?
I have a good idea. Come. You too, Pancho.
What an adventure it will be. I don't understand it, for God's sake, but what does it matter? I wouldn't leave Conrado's side, even if we were off to the Philippines. As a painter, I should be just fine. Where the people are, there are portraits to be painted. And with painting comes money. I can paint portraits of governors and townsfolk, of landscapes with sheep and shepherds. And Conrado should be just fine too. Conrado could... Well, those are just the semantics. The point is, Texas is full of opportunity, just like Mexico. When you think about it, I'm sure I'll be just...
I beg your pardon?
You barbarian, you interrupted me.
Well, I am on a mission.
For what?
Well, sir, I walk very, very fast. I have on me the house, the direction of the house, and the affairs of the house. And since I am so diligent, you get it? They have given me a commission.
What sort of commission?
It's a secret.
Do tell.
I've got to go.
Tell me even.
No!
Okay, let's get ready to undertake the expedition to Texas.
Leon, what are you doing?
I was checking my provisions for the trip
For the trip?
to the province of Texas. Look, I'm gonna buy a ham and dried fruits for the road. Maybe I'll buy some bottles along the way.
What for?
Well, to drink, of course.
We may not need to leave.
Really? Pancho was mistaken, eh?
No, the order's true, but there's a way around it.
Running away?
We can't.
Well then,
A suggestion from my resourceful old woman. The order from the governor refers only to Spaniards who are prisoners of war.
well, what are we?
Well, Mexicans are exempt from the punishment. And if I become Mexican, I'll be allowed to go.
Would you deny your country and your flags in the face of danger?
Do you think me
Corrado,
capable?
for God's sake, this is not
capable
like you.
of such a thing?
I don't understand that.
Among the various ways to become Mexican, one of them is to marry a Mexican woman. Now, do you understand?
Not a single word.
If I marry a Mexican woman, then I will obtain a document of naturalization.
What? Who gave you this idea? Mexico is fighting for its independence, and you're gonna leave yours in the hands of a maiden? Let's escape to Tejas, Colorado. Tejas.
Would you let me finish?
Go on.
All right, now here's where it gets better. What woman do you think is willing to be the object of this farce?
No idea. Don't tell me she's another painting.
My caretaker?
The old woman?
The same. She is the most beautiful soul.
The soul, yes, but the body? And how do you manage this?
Very simply. Not long ago, the town clerk came to see her. He is, well, let's just say that he's a master of deception.
No scruples, huh?
He's prepared the papers without going through the mayor of the registry, which, you know, is the legal requirement to be married. Pancho's taking it directly to the governor and inviting him to the wedding party. What do you think?
To be frank, it seems quite risky.
Well, Providence helps me.
Well, you'll need Providence's help.
Well, I love her the same as I love my mother.
That makes sense, but more like your grandmother.
I'm gonna go help her prepare for the party.
Would I get married if I were him? No, sir. I prefer adventure. Frankly, it must take a superhuman effort to give up such freedom. I still have plenty of life to live. It's outrageous, even in a joke. I would never forgive myself if I gave up my life of adventure and freedom for a woman's hand in marriage.
Good heavens, what a heat wave.
Well, Pancho, I know you went to the governor's house.
So the mistress and the captain, they told you what's up?
Yes.
Listen, if it wasn't for me, everything would be ruined. It is known that he who has knowledge of things like I do, and I know everything, does things in a way that no one need rectify. So, the lady and the gentleman sent me immediately to take the papers to the governor. But when I left, I saw the script, and I saw that it was missing from the registers and the mayor. So the document they gave me was void. But I, who always figures things out, what did I do? As God has made me so clever, I immediately ran to the town hall.
What?
I fixed everything.
Holy smokes!
Don't you know, sir, that if I didn't rectify it, it would be void?
A failure.
Yes, and it is already fixed.
Traitor. So, did you accomplish it?
I rectified it, and I thought I was right.
Well, I'm gonna rectify your head.
But man, don't be aggressive.
You're gonna die, you idiot.
Oh dear Christ, this man is a panther.
I must kill him without delay. When Corrado finds out.
Oh, boy, I'm excited.
Now, how do I tell him?
Our old woman's the queen of the salon.
He does not yet know
She's
to the
so
extent of abyss that he is
She
fallen.
is so intelligent. She is so intelligent.
Yes, the woman is gifted. She is gifted.
And elegant.
Yes, and also very experienced.
In the salon, I even believed that I was her husband.
What did that feel like?
Maybe you wouldn't believe it. I liked her so much, it wouldn't have even bothered me.
Seriously? Well, hold on to your boots, because of the foolishness of that butler, you are her husband.
What?
You're married for real.
I don't understand you.
Your wife is completely innocent. By giving the void script to that Pancho, who is too wise for his own good, well, he, with holy intention, promptly changed everything. He went to the registry and to the mayor to fix it.
Where is he?
Be careful, be careful.
Careful, of course. I just want to talk to him before I split him in two.
Pancho, Pancho. Leon, could you leave us alone, please? Conrado, I don't know how to tell you that my butler...
I know, ma'am. I know.
It doesn't matter, God knows. I had never thought that a day could come when my presence would make you unhappy. You cannot imagine how terrible I feel.
You feel terrible.
I see that you're upset.
Upset?
If, because of Pancho's mistake, I have made you unhappy, allow me to rectify it at least. Because from the day that you rescued me, it was my obligation to repay you. My care, my tenderness, you have always had. I know that it is little.
Madam, you've done much more than was required.
No, sir. I longed for some worthy and honorable way to transfer even half of my fortune to you. I was afraid that this would humiliate you because I know you.
Madam, please.
Conrado, all I have is yours.
I don't accept it.
Why not? Nobody will stop me. You don't have a mother anymore. Let me be her. With wealth and youth, you can return to Spain. There you will find honors, friends, happiness, pleasures, and beautiful women. I will stay alone, happy if you are happy. And I will be glad when you will write to this poor old woman about your loving sleeplessness. The wife will know nothing. I am so old that I am no longer of an age to be jealous.
My lady, I'm never going to abandon you. I can never forget how you've taken care of me. And my lucky star gives me another mother.
I am very old. You will not have to worry about me much longer.
Nonsense. You're a picture of health.
Boy, this room sure is full of people who are anxious to say goodbye.
Do you have something to send them?
I'd like to send that rogue out of a window.
You must remember that he has served your wife. Don't be rash. You are now married.
That's why. That's why I want to do it.
Lucia Pacina. And so what is that? No one answers? Let's undress.
This is where Christ began to suffer.
En luchas desiguales ganan los bravos, ganan los bravos. Las cruzas laureadas de San Fernando, de San Fernando. Ánimo pues, que un siglo te contempla, luchar con él. No me faltó bravura, nunca en el campo, nunca en el campo. Mas no hay valor que base para este caso, para este caso. Tiemblo par diez, y desde la coronilla hasta los pies. Tiemblo par diez, 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 tiemblo par diez.
Morado, I must go.
Why are you leaving?
Decency demands it. Honor your country and be brave.
I'm gonna shoot him. Some friend he turned out to be.
Be assured, everything stays the same. That is your room and this is mine.
Oh, my pleasure.
Don't ever try to surprise me. I lock my door.
Good. Don't worry. See you tomorrow, ma'am.
Why don't you stay and read to me like you did last night?
Okay. What is this? Let's see. Anecdotes of the war. Did you write these?
Just to kill time.
The jealous gaucho. No, I already know that one. Interesting anecdote. Let's see. At the beginning of this campaign, Adela de Monteorgas married a Mexican nobleman of colossal fortune. She was a girl, and he was old. He was 3 times her age. Sounds familiar? The old nobleman fanatic for that national cause, he left his comforts to go fight against the army of Spain. His wife, who had devoted affection for him and knew that she represented the happiness for that noble old man, seeing him go to fulfill his duty as a Mexican with loyalty, she did not want to abandon him. And although she was a very spoiled girl, she said, "My place is next to the one whom I gave my faith to at the altar." Here's a guy I appreciate. In a tenacious and bloody encounter in which the Mexican division, already defeated and scattered, had to give up the field, a bullet came to hit the noble husband, who soon died with serenity in his wife's arms, and by blessing her, and even more by appointing her in a will as his universal heir. Well then, she deserved it.
Continue.
The young woman, who was then left in complete solitude and 100 leagues from her home, having to cross an entire country occupied at every step by the undisciplined forces that in all wars exist. She knew that her beauty could be fatal to her.
Continue.
I continue. What then did the young woman do to avoid the risks? She doubled her body, filled her face with wrinkles, put on a white wig, and concealed her voice in a way that she was a real old woman. Not even the devil can think of a singular idea and timely. It was the only one that could save her, because the Spanish soldier fears an old woman more than he fears an alligator.
What?
Nothing.
Do continue.
Yes, madam. Are you well, madam?
Yes, please continue.
So she began to travel, crossing leagues and leagues with a young officer, who, despite being very clever, never had the remotest suspicion. This officer must have been pretty dumb.
Why?
Because he would have guessed it, of course.
Friend, not everyone has your special talent. And nevertheless, I think the ending will surprise you.
I doubt it, because fables never surprise me.
Read it slowly then. Good night, Captain.
Good night. What a vision! Where's my wife? That one? She can't be. Is it an illusion, or is it a foolish delirium that fascinates my senses with that divine ethereal face portrait? Those traits that I keep imprinted in my heart are hers. Adela, Adela, come back!
Man, what's the matter? What are you screaming about?
Has my angelic wife that your brush painted?
Oh, I was afraid of this. He's had a stroke.
Boy, I'm crazy in love. Pancho, Pancho, I bless you.
Thank you?
Poor friend. Someone call for a doctor. What is this?
I have an icy husband who wants separation. That's his room and this is mine.
Idiot.
Never repeat it out of compassion, madam. I will give you my heart and my soul, whatever you want more. I will live there as a prisoner.
Conrado, I just want you to always love me like this.
You see, I did it well. Who was right?
Hey, Pancho, can you find me a wife too?
watching on the live stream for the following production of Goyescas.